It's the final game of this first round group here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. A tussle for top spot in Group G. The relentless underdogs, Dominican Republic, looking for a second upset in 3 days as they take on 2014 bronze medalists France. We are live from the Shenzhen-based Sports Center on the southeast coast of China. A very warm welcome from myself, Tim Long, alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze. It is the final game of this first round group, but it's essentially the first game of the second round, given that these two teams are both through, and this result will carry through with them when they move on to Nanjing, where they'll also face Lithuania and your boys, Australia.
That's right, and what a matchup that's going to be. It's been a very tough group. This side of the draw, stacked with teams, and France laying claims to be legitimate, not only medal contenders, but gold medal contenders, and they've been impressive in their game so far. Started the tournament in spectacular fashion with that win over Germany, but down the other end of the floor, it's the Dominican Republic that's captured our heart with the way in which they've played with tremendous passion, enthusiasm, and got the very best out of their available talent. Nestor Garcia has done a fantastic job of preparing this team to cause a couple of what we call boilovers, but now that we see this team firsthand, they have a lot of talent and can go very deep into the tournament.
Yeah, France under Vincent Collet arrived as one of the favourites for the podium. They've really shown their quality. A flying start against Germany in game one. Defensive dominance, particularly on the interior, and then a demonstration of their offensive prowess as they blitzed Jordan with 103 points in game two, their highest ever tally in a World Cup game. And Dominican Republic weren't predicted to make it out of this group, but they've gone 2-0 as well so far here in Shenzhen. Both hard-fought, close games, first against Jordan, but then against Germany here 2 days ago. An incredible performance that knocked the Germans out of second round contention and caused one of the big shocks of this World Cup so far.
Oh my word, and they've done it by committee. They've used 12 players in the tournament so far. They share the minutes around, they play that high octane, high energy defense. They're scrappy out in the floor, make the opponent become uncomfortable, and they do it really, really well. And there you see the result of the earlier game today.
Yeah, Germany got their first win of the tournament to avoid bottom spot in the group and most significantly carry a win through into the classification round. We know it'll be Germany third, Jordan fourth in Group G. We're about to find out who takes top spot and carries a big win into the second round. And the two sets of players out on court here in Shenzhen, and we will pause for a few minutes for the two national anthems.
First is the national anthem of France. 女士们、先生们，请全体起立，奏双方运动队国歌。首先演奏法国国歌。And now, national anthem of Dominican Republic. 下面演奏多米尼加共和国国歌。
We're all set for this game day 3 matchup at the 2019 FIBA World Cup. Myself, Tim Long, alongside FIBA legend Andrew Gaze with you to call the action here in China. Top spot in Group G on the line in Shenzhen. One of the favourites, France, looking to build momentum and go deep into the competition. And one of these surprise packages, Dominican Republic, looking to cause an even bigger upset than the one they produced on this court against Germany 2 days ago.
They are, and it's going to be an even tougher challenge because there's far more talent in this French team, but also it's their size. Great athletes, but tremendous size and the defensive presence by Rudy Gobert around the glass.
There's a look at your officiating team for this one. So much talent indeed in the French side. They demonstrated their depth against Jordan 2 days ago. 10 players playing between 15 and 27 minutes. Nando De Colo, after not doing much in game 1, led 5 scorers in double figures with 19 points as well as 8 assists. Rudy Gobert with a dominant double-double, 16 points and 13 rebounds in the space of 22 minutes.
It is, and this French team, stars all over the place. Evan Fournier, he's been one of the superstars of the entire competition. Nicolas Batum didn't play against Jordan, but he's going to play today. We believe he had a mild back strain and didn't want to risk him, so he took some rest. But it's this man on your screen right now, Frank Ntilikina. He's been the future, I think, of France. In fact, his teammates are calling him the future of France. Nicolas Batum and also Rudy Gobert, high praise for him. Bright future, currently playing with the New York Knicks, and he's been very good. A big guard who can shoot it from the perimeter.
And what about the performance of this Dominican team of wily old veterans? 7 of the 12 players in their 30s, everybody getting involved. 7 players scored at least 9 points in game 1. 6 players scored at least 8 against Germany. Victor Liz leading the way with 17. Eloy Vargas big at centre with 16. And this undersized roster will need his size against France today.
They will, and they'll also need Gelvis Solano. He's been spectacular. He leads the tournament in assists, and the way in which he not only creates for himself but creates for others is going to be critical. And he can shoot it, but that's not his forte. The way in which he runs the team, he's been outstanding, particularly in the on-ball situation, creating for others, getting to the rim.
France started game day 1 with a 14-0 run, allowing Germany just 4 points in the first quarter, 20 points in the first half before almost letting it slip and winning by 4. Then in game 2, Coach Collet's team against Jordan bridged the halftime interval with a 20-0 run to blow the game open before winning by 39. Their interior defense has been key. They held Germany to 32% inside, Jordan to 40%, and they average a tournament high 6.5 blocks per game. Turnovers perhaps the only concern, 13.5 per game so far.
Yeah, that would be a concern. And as you get to the pointy end, turnovers become more prevalent. And with this Dominican team, they will force you into turnovers. They want to be super disruptive on the defensive end. They know their limitations, and they power through that with aggression, getting in the lanes and trying to push the offense out of what they want to do. And that's something that will be effective against France because they are very structured. They run their system, they identify their targets, and the Dominican Republic will do a good job of really testing their resolve to stay with their stuff.
Coach Nestor Che Garcia's personality and attitude towards the game very much displayed in the characteristics of his team. Tenacity, ball movement, three-point shooting have been their staples of play so far. They hit 11 of 26 from downtown for 42% against Jordan. They struggled at first against Germany but finished by knocking down 5 of their last 11 to claim that huge win. And despite the small roster, they averaged 10.5 offensive rebounds across the first 2 games, as well as 9 steals a game, getting 7.5 extra shots on average than their opponents. And France will need to be prepared for that tenacity tonight.
They will, and they do it by committee. Because of that effort, it's labour intensive to do that. And they've got 10 players averaging 10 minutes or more. That's a little unusual to see that level of depth, but that's built because of the design of the team, the way Nestor Garcia wants to play on the defensive end. Very, very difficult to log big minutes with the type of defensive pressure that he'd like to apply.
Here we go then, two nations of differing sizes, expectations and aspirations, but the first major goal achieved for both. 2 wins from 2, a place in the second round secured. Only one can go there with a perfect record, and given that this result carries through to the next stage, it is essentially the first game of a new group that also contains Australia and Lithuania, who these two will face in Nanjing. It is very much on to the next goal now. This is the first of 3 games in the space of just 5 days to decide who goes to the quarterfinals of the 2019 FIBA World Cup. We are underway in Shenzhen, and the first possession for Solano, who looks to drive at Nilikina straight away. And back out it goes to Rojas, and then Solano will try again. This time he stops and pops for the long 2, misses it, Nilikina the rebound.
Nilikina is so long and with those arms, he's very good on the defensive end, moves his feet. Solano's going to have the biggest test so far of the tournament for him, with Nikolina guarding him.
Here's Fournier, who's been such a good scorer so far, and he finds his fellow NBAer Gobert to score.
It's amazing that you'd think teams would be prepared for it, and I'm sure Dominican Republic were, but France have run the same play the first 2 games to start the first offensive possession, exactly the same play they've run their first 2 games.
Rudy Gobert was the first French player to score more than 15 points and grab more than 10 rebounds in a World Cup game since 1994, 2 days ago.
Wow. Of course, not a big sample size, but already he's leading the tournament in block shots.
Solano, who had 11 assists against Germany. Off to the far side, Victor Liz, who's led them in scoring both games, but he lost it here. And here comes Fournier. Nilikina, left completely unguarded for 3, and he makes them pay.
That's a breakdown in your defensive transition. You got it back. They had enough time to establish it. No way you leave Nilikina that open. Shooting the ball really well in this tournament.
Solano looking to go all the way through, and there's Gobert doing what Gobert does. Fournier on the fast break, looking to go coast to coast, got the finger roll to fall. What a start for France. They've scored 5 points, make it 7, inside around a minute and a half. And that will force already a Dominican Republic timeout.
It is, and Nestor Garcia not happy. In fact, doing something that's quite unusual. He's kept the 5 players still out on the court and only addressing the starting 5 with the rest of the team on the bench. There's the coach, but this is quite extraordinary, and he is giving them an absolute mouthful, because I suspect he's concerned about the shot selection down the other end. They're not going to win without the appropriate execution, and how in which they're going to guard on the defensive end. That's a problem, but off to a flyer now, France, and energy, effort, and very early, only a minute and a half into the game, and he's given it to them with both barrels.
I mean, you've got far more experience, obviously, in the game than I have. I've never seen that before. I don't know about you.
Well, not in recent times, that's for sure. And he had some choice words, and he didn't want to expose his bench to it. So he's done an outstanding job of getting the best out of his players, and I'm sure it's taken in the right vein by his players, but it can be a little embarrassing when you're out there on an island exposing your team like that. See what type of impact it'll have.
There's Vargas, the big man looking to drive in, back out to Rojas. Vargas on the baseline. Bounce pass into the lane, it's another turnover. Nilikina looking to use that athleticism again, challenged by 2 and forced into the turnover. Liz thought about the 3, wow, and then he turns it right back over.
And they're starting to point fingers, and another turnover, this time by France. So some sloppy play here, perhaps a few nerves creeping in. You'd almost think, though, the Dominican Republic could come in here, almost feel like they're playing with the house's money. No one expected them to be here as good as they are. They're the number 18th ranked team in the world, so they're no scrubs. But given their huge win, but they look a little tight and nervous.
Solano back to Vargas. The centre's going to shoot the 3. Still no points on the board. Big offensive rebound for Liz, but then he stepped on the sideline, on the baseline.
He was looking for the foul, but I think he just lost his footing. Great effort. There he is getting after it. No. Stretch the imagination to think you're going to get a foul there. No. It wasn't a push. Victor.
5 turnovers in the space of 2.5 minutes for the Dominican Republic. Gobert to Fournier. Fournier working behind the frame of the big man. Gets a good look. Misses his shot. Hasn't missed too many open shots so far here in Shenzhen. Solano. Solano's going to take the 3. Still no joy.
And they're going to make him have to prove himself from the perimeter. They went under.
And Fournier slicing all the way through in transition. A 9-0 start for France.
Just terrible defensive transition. The three-pointer went up and France got out. They were the ones pushing it down the floor, running without the ball and take advantage of it.
Liz to Vargas. Vargas to try and take on Gobert. The high elevation on the shot off the window to try and beat the shot blocker, but he couldn't get his angles right. Nilikina to Fournier. Fired in towards Gobert to try and show him how it's done, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Well, wholesale changes coming. Nestor Garcia soon enough. He's got 3 guys coming in at the one time, which is a little unusual as well at this level. And he wants to reset, get some new personnel out there, because this is not the start they were looking for. 0-5 from the field, that's one thing. You can sort of deal with the missed shots, but it's the 5 turnovers, and Victor Liss, the main culprit, he's already got 3.
Victor Liss has been their top scorer in the first 2 games. 15 points in game 1, 17 against Germany, when he hit 7 of 14 from the field, but hasn't yet been able to find that form and protect the basketball in the opening 3.5 minutes of this one. Gobert makes just 1 of 2, so a 10-0 start for France, who started 14-0 against Germany. Rojas to Baez. The veteran hands it off to Mendoza. It is really a team of veterans. Here's Ronald Ramon off the bench as well. Looking for Rojas. Instead it goes to Ronald Roberts. And they have to heave it up. And can't even hit the backboard at the end of the shot clock. We know France are a tough cookie to crack on the defensive end, but Dominican Republic being dominated.
That looked like motion just for the sake of motion. I love the man movement and the ball movement, but it was for really no purpose.
Fournier into Batum. He's on the court for the first time since game 1. Over the top of Rojas, doesn't get it to go. Roberts grabbing the rebound. Ramon back to Roberts. Hands it off to Mendoza, looking to drive against Fournier. Across to the far side to Ayulis Baez. Back out, almost picked off by Batum, but an open look for Rojas on the mid-range jumper after Batum missed the interception.
To say they desperately needed that was an understatement, not just for the score's sake, but just to also ease a little bit of tension amongst the group, get that scoreboard ticking over.
Here's Batum, open look for 3. Top scorer for them at the 2014 and 2010 World Cups. He only had 2 points on game day 1, then didn't play on game day 2. Has been carrying that slight injury. Mendoza with the long 2 will go to the line.
These substitutions have come in and steadied the ship. A couple of stops, made basket. Now they work their way to the free throw line. And they've got to make this a grind-out game. If this game gets up into the 90s, I don't think that that's in the Dominican Republic's favour. They've got to find a way to obviously get their scoring going, but it's down the other end of the floor that they need to put the clamps on, and they're on par for an 80-point game so far, that is for France.
They've closed the gap to 6. They've scored the last 4 points. Dominican Republic. Mendoza getting both from the foul line. Now maybe they can start to settle. It's been one of their achievements over the first 2 games to be able to play the kind of games they would like to play. Making them scrappy, fighting hard, wearing teams down. unsettling teams, they haven't yet unsettled France. Fournier to float from the foul line and to get it to fall.
Tough. Almost another turnover.
And 6 points for Fournier, 3 of 4 from the field. Baez. Mendoza, Rojas. He'll hand it off here to Ramon. And Roberts. Mendoza. Setting the screen on the perimeter as well. Baez, they can't seem to shift the French defense around enough, and it's a shot clock violation.
But when you're trying to control the tempo, the principle about what they were trying to do that time and the one before was sound. As we see a little bit of feeling in this one, as you could expect. A few choice words. But when it gets down to that 5 seconds remaining in the shot clock, just need to be greater awareness. In fact, to loosen them up, loosen up the French defense, make them work for it, spread the floor a little bit. The principle's good.
Nilikina.
Look at Ramon, that's what they have to do. That's over and back. Full credit. Ramon, the extended defense, that is their signature. That is the trademark of the Dominican Republic, and where they've been so successful in their first 2 games, that extended disruptive defense.
And the man born in New York City, forcing the turnover on the man who plays for the New York Knicks. Ramon. And then on by Rojas. Here's Mendoza. Again, right at the end of the shot clock from near centre court. Offensive rebound for Roberts. And a fresh 14 to work with. Step to the side 3. And Gobert grabs it. Quick offense as well. Albisi on the floor for France. And so too De Colo, who's fouled.
Well, I guess the good news for Dominican Republic here is that they've had 7 turnovers. They're 1 of 8, and they're only 8 down against a world-class team like France. So if you're a glass half full man, you understand that things can only get better. It's hard to see how they can do much worse on the offensive end than what they're doing right now. In contrast, France been very good, 63%, 5 of 8.
And perhaps the only reason it's not bigger is that France have also had 3 turnovers in just over 6 minutes. Fournier to get it into Amatambai. Fournier again. Looking to work with Gobert on the perimeter. Goes around him. Gobert rolls to the rim. Fournier tries to shoot himself. Gets a second bite to the cherry. Gobert is saying, I should have had it.
We tighten it up, Gobert. That's the luxury you have with the big fellas down low. And on average, 10 centimetres taller is France compared to the Dominican Republic, so that you would suspect that they would have an advantage on the boards.
Solano around Roberts. Roberts trying to force one over the top of Gobert, who's able to play a bit of hotcake, couldn't reel it in.
Even Egan's had a bit of a... Rudy Gobert's having a bit of a chuckle about that one.
Over the top of Gobert and off the glass, and Solano sorcery to beat the big man.
Fair to say, he wouldn't be chuckling over that. Going straight at the big man and get it over the outstretched arms.
Rudy Gobert, who's got a wingspan of 7'9". Here's De Colo looking to attack into the lane, and he's fouled on his path through the paint by Monteiro.
Never looks like he's in a hurry, De Colo, and see, just cuts him off, uses his body well, goes up, draws the foul. And down the other end, that was Solano, just knowing that the big fella's coming, gets it over his hands and uses the board.
The Dominican Republic closing the gap to 8 momentarily, but De Colo now at the line to try and make it double figures again. One of the best free throw shooters you will ever see. 95% in the EuroLeague last season. Did miss one in game 1 when he was 3 of 4. Had a really disappointing game 1, 5 turnovers, just 2 assists, but then 19 points, 8 assists, and just 1 turnover in game 2.
Yeah, he played well. It's a little asterisk when you're playing against Jordan, one of the inferior teams, but still, you've got to put the ball in the hole at that efficiency. and he did really well. Good game that built his confidence.
Solano, who might have his confidence built as well after that previous finish. This time he finds Roberts, who can't finish over the top of Gobert. DeColo on the burst of the basket again runs into Roberts in a foul.
You heard Roberts yelling out blue. That's the defensive strategy that they use, where they're trying to keep the guy on the sideline pinned to the sideline and don't let him come back to the middle. But that's where Roberts, you see he's there, he's yelling out blue, he's in that good position. Unfortunately, he just fouls. But I like the strategy. Don't, on the sideline on balls, don't let him use the screen, force him to the baseline.
And by to inbound to Fournier. Here's Albisi. Fournier looking maybe for Gobert, bypasses him to the Dominican coach.
Well, he's in the light blue, not quite the dark blue of France, and doesn't matter what level you're at, when you leave your feet and you don't know where your pass is going, you usually get yourself into trouble. And that's what happened that time to Fournier.
Fourth turnover of the first quarter for France. Poirier comes in for the first time. The man who led the EuroLeague in rebounding with Baskonia last season. Solano. Directing traffic from deep. Final 2 minutes of the quarter. He gets it back from Roberts. Solano looking to find Roberts. Couldn't reel it in. And Albisi, now they're at the mercy of France. Here goes Lassalle, who does soar through the Shenzhen air.
How is that by Lassalle? Off the 2 feet and tucks it in with some sort of authority.
Monteiro, France by 12 now. Solano, away from Albisi. Baez threatens the 3, drives against Lassalle, left-hand layup, doing well to hold off the challenge. Baez, 37 years of age, a man who played in the EuroLeague with Gran Canaria last season. Albisi up to Lassalle, looking to better his previous highlight reel play. And Dominican Republic trying to take advantage of the miss. Roberts still won't fall for them, and Poirier is there. DeColo, Lassalle! It's almost like a one-man dunk contest at the moment, although Lassalle's not converting.
It was 1 of 3. That one was the toughest of the lot of them.
Roberts misses. A crazy end to the first quarter. Around 12 seconds differential. Albisi holding the ball, dictating the tempo. Here's Fournier. Just floats one, little too long. Poirier, big offensive rebound. And now they can hold it for the final shot. Oh no, they can't. There's still 4-second differential. DeColo. DeColo with the contested 3. Limited time for Dominican Republic. They need to force the ball up quickly. Fournier knew it and very nearly picked it off. We're seeing those dunk attempts, the successful one from Lassalle.
It's nice in transition when you see the big fellas running the floor like that. Always good to reward them because that encourages them to keep doing it. .9 seconds. Liz just has to heave it up from centre court. It looked online. You could tell by the oohs and ahs from the crowd, but it wouldn't quite go. And that will do it for a fascinating first quarter. France have a double-digit lead, but Dominican Republic trying to rally back. It is, and it's not a pretty quarter for both teams. A lot of turnovers. 8 turnovers Dominican Republic, 4 to France, and the France defense is just making life real miserable for the Dominican Republic. 3 of 16 from the field for 19%. Take a look till you see the numbers. And France, I think they'd be really happy with the way in which they've approached this game at this end of the floor. And when you've got a shot blocker like Rudy Gobert, it really does encourage you to put heat on the ball, because if they get around you, you know you've got some pretty good help. And down the other end of the floor, Dominican Republic, they just couldn't put the ball in the hole and gave up too many opportunities. 8 turnovers is just not going to, that's not going to be good enough to get the win against most teams in this competition. And Evan Fournier, just so smooth, the way in which he can create shots for himself. And eventually you start to get a feel that the Dominican Republic were working their way into it. We saw them in that game against Germany. They got down by 9 early on in the first half, and they were able to come back and get the win. So they would be fully aware they're not blowing France out of the water. They're never going to beat France by 15 to 20. So they know it's going to be a close game. The key for them is just keeping it close, and then hopefully, like we saw the other night against Germany, where it scores a level with 5 minutes to go, and they ran away with it and got the win.
What happened against Germany was Nesta Che Garcia's team started to hit a few three-pointers. We know that's so key for their game. Well, they're 0 of 5 so far here. You know they're going to find it difficult on the inside against France. They need to knock down threes, surely, to stay in contention. Here's Tupan. Poirier. Tupan on towards Lesor, tipped out of bounds by Baez.
That's great by Baez, just getting up in the lane, pushing Poirier off the box, and feel much more comfortable, particularly with a size disadvantage, when the bigs are catching it 3 or 4 metres outside the keyway.
There's Poirier on the outside again, offensive foul as he dished it off to De Colo.
Right idea by Poirier. They're just trying to set the screen. There you see him coming, and then that's just a moving screen. That little move back, you can't do that. You can camouflage it better. If you just made it look like he was rolling to the basket, you almost get away with that, but he was just blatantly blocking there, and well spotted by the officials.
He'll play in the NBA next season with Boston Celtics. Vincent Poirier, a place in the All-EuroLeague second team last season with Baskonia.
I think he'll be a good NBA player too. Role specific, rebounder, defender, great dealing with the on-ball screens, keeping people in front of him. I think he'll have a good NBA career.
Solano, oh, too high for Vargas, who maybe wasn't expecting it.
This is getting ridiculous now. 9 turnovers. Very difficult when you're giving the opportunity, that many opportunities to your opponent. France have been a little sloppy themselves with 5.
Albisi shoots the 3. It goes for Andrew Albisi, and France's lead is up to 16. No, 13, I beg your pardon. Solano. Vargas to hand it off to Liz. Tough shot for Liz, drifting towards the baseline, and he was fouled in the process.
That's just a cagey veteran, Liz, who understands it's difficult to come by points, so he just puts it to the floor, sees De Colo out of position, and works his way to the free throw line.
Chance for Victor Liz to get his first points.
Good to find the roles too with the French team. I think they've done a good job because they've really got 3 point guards with De Colo, Albisi, and then Ntilikina. They got 3 point guards. Now, De Colo and Ntilikina, they can easily play the 2, but they do look real comfortable with the ball in their hands.
Liz gets them both. It's down to 11 after 11 minutes. Albisi, who played all of the qualifiers with France at the point, on towards Lesor. Lesor using his strength and his athleticism in an unforgiving mood down low.
Rojas was on an island too. No help coming.
He's playing longer minutes in this one, Lesor, and making the most of them. Liz.
Travel.
Turnover number 10.
Liz not happy, but there's a little shuffling of the feet when he caught it before he established his pivot foot, which brought him undone.
BC, an all Euro Cup first team member last season. Decolo, who won the Euro League, onto Lassalle. And he shows you what he's got again. Matthias Lassalle is here to entertain tonight.
My word, he's showing his athleticism, but check out the rig on him. Look at the size of the man. Rojas grossly overmatched down low.
He's 2 meters 5, 6'9", but he almost moves like he's a little bit shorter than that in terms of his athleticism.
Very agile getting up and down the floor. And we've already seen him down low, can overpower him straight away. Nesta Garcia makes the change, puts Roland Roberts on him.
Decolo nails the open 3 after the defense hit the deck.
Never looks like he's in a hurry. He's just so smooth. He's been a superstar throughout Europe for many years.
A big move in Europe this summer after winning the EuroLeague with CSKA. He'll play in Fenerbahce next season.
What's going on in CSKA? They've won it, and there's been a few players I think move on, and he's been there 5 years, so it makes the move. Word in the off-season that he was seeking out another NBA deal, but I think he found the appropriate level of compensation that enticed him to stay in the European system.
There's been so much movement around the EuroLeague and the NBA this summer. France up by 16 here, 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Vargas against Poirier. Liz taking on Tupan, who's a very good defender, and he dances his way. Victor Liz through the paint to score past Poirier.
Yeah, very nice. Finds a way and runs into the wall, but weaves around it.
Now BC. Poirier far side, waiting for Decolo. Keeps hold of it, looks to attack. Backs in, spins to the baseline and finishes past Vargas. Again, it was one-on-one, no help.
It is, you see, just the size, Poirier, just the little drop step, it's too easy. And for me, I think they're better off just sending the double team, make the extra pass and try and rotate out of it.
Liz, pull-up three-pointer, misses it. Offensive rebound, but it was wild by Rojas when he put it back up. Decolo playing quarterback. Decolo shifting it on. Lassalle putting it in.
How's the passing? The passing's a thing of beauty. Sharing the ball, getting everyone involved. Great stuff by France. It's the court vision. Decolo just knew what he was doing before he even caught it. Knew where it was going. Playing one hit pass ahead. And Victor Garcia, you see him in the background. He's seen enough, and as the lead is pushed out to 18, he needs to talk about it.
The timeout call with 6 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first half. Beautiful French basketball. And you can see the reaction on the Dominican bench.
It is. And, it's tough. It's a powerful French team that they'll capitalise on any slip-up, and with 10 turnovers, they've been given plenty of encouragement in this one this evening. There you see the assists to France, 8, and with only 12 points in the game, you can understand why the Dominican Republic only got the 1 assist. Those ones that the easy ones in transition. Now sometimes they're in indefensible situations because of the turnovers. But those other ones, that's too deep. An on-ball screen like that man on this screen, Fournier, 6 points in this one. He's a superstar of this entire competition. Can shoot it from anywhere and very crafty getting into the paint. And if he's allowed to get that deep, then you're really just hoping that you missed.
18 points, the French lead. They're sharing the points around as well. Fournier and Lassalle both have 6. Decolo and Gobert each have 5. Dominican Republic struggling to score at all. Liz lost it. Here goes Albisi. DeColo calling for it. Goes the other way to Tupan. And DeColo just about able to balance the baseline.
Ooh. Might have been a little tough on Rojas that time. He pulled the chair out underneath. Yep, no foul there. Just retreated. DeColo hoping for the contact and it wasn't there and he fell over.
There's Lesor inside. You know what that means. He gets to the rim. He'll go to the line to have to earn them this time.
Big, powerful body that presents a huge target. Great little underneath out of bounds play. Little curl cut. Roberts gets caught behind him. He bites on the head fake and comes down and smacks him in the back of the head. And he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
Averaged 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, 1.3 blocks per game to earn a place in the All-Euro Cup second team with Malaga last season. Matthias Lesor, he'll play in the EuroLeague with Bayern Munich this season. Gets the second to go. 19 is the largest lead of the game. Lesor has 7 now. Monteiro. Victor Liz. Vargas comes out. Liz goes around him. Looks to attack Poirier. Monteiro floating over the top of the big men. Liz will recover on the perimeter. Vargas was free inside, but he's confronted midair by Lesor and he'll go to the line.
Great find by Liz, but everything looks so rushed with the Dominican Republic in their half-court sets. That time a lucky bounce out to Liz, and they're able to make something of it, but give a lot of credit to the French defense here. They are up and in. They're taking nothing for granted. They held Germany to 4 points in the first quarter and 20 points in a half, and they're on track to repeat here against a Dominican Republic team that's been pretty efficient in their first 2 games.
2 for 2 from the line for Eloy Vargas. 17 the differential. Albisi working with Poirier on the perimeter. Pulls up for the outside shot. Poirier is there on the offensive glass, showing just why he was so dominant on the boards in the EuroLeague. Here's DeColo shooting from the elbow and knocking it down, and he's been efficiency personified over the last few days.
He plays a lot taller than he is. That time there, just finds his spot on the floor, gets to it, easy, comfortable mid-range shot.
Monteiro shooting over the top of Tupac. They'll get a second opportunity. Liz got a good look, and then flying out to greet him on the perimeter was DeColo.
And they call that on the floor, so he won't go. But that's DeColo's third personal foul. So he'll take a spell. 7 points, 2 or 3 from the field. Got a couple of assists as well. Well, maybe he goes to the line because France are in the bonus.
Yeah, the foul was definitely called on the floor, but France's 5th foul of the quarter, just over the midway point of it. So the potential for Dominican Republic to try and get to the line more before the half, but they've got to hit them. Liz does make the second. And points are coming at a premium for Dominican Republic right now. Oh, there's a big effort on the defensive end from Liz, looking to go all the way through, and Poirier put the defensive ceiling up.
Liz doing the right thing, trying to get to the rim, perhaps hoping to draw a foul, but you have a look at it. I think the pass was on to Mendoza. No. Poirier there getting back on the defensive transition. So unlucky Liz wasn't able to capitalise on it.
Lily Kina, the 21-year-old, onto Batum, the veteran. Now Lesor, another youngster, just 23. offensive foul called against Batum by the looks of it. Nicola Batum, who averaged 9.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists per game last season for Charlotte, his 11th NBA campaign, his 4th with the Hornets. Vargas. Baez. Mendoza on the move to receive it. Up against Ntilikina, shot clock to 6. Low catch for Baez, able to adjust his body well, missed the shot though. Tupan. Ntilikina. MVP to lead France to the under-18 Eurobasket title 3 years ago. Finding Lesor, finding Poirier, finding Batum. Beautiful ball movement. Batum can't hit.
Love it. Love the inside out. Prepared to share the ball. Come up empty that time, but the principle of what they're trying to do, that generates great support and confidence within the group to know that if you do get open, your teammates are going to find you. It's a beautiful thing.
Liz trying to shake off the attentions of Tupan to find Vargas. He'll take the handoff on the outside. Surrounded by those dark blue jerseys. Corner 3, Baez.
Another tough shot by Dominican Republic. They can't get anything cheap.
And they're 0 of 8 from the outside. There goes Ntilikina. Runs into Vargas, across to the corner, and France showing them how to hit a 3. Tupan. France are 4 of 7 from 3. It's a 20 or 16-point lead, sorry. Baez. 21-point lead. Ntilikina to Batum. Tupan. Lesor, the crowd expecting here in China as he rose to try and attack the rim again. 2.5 to play in the first half. Thrown high towards Vargas, too high. Tupan looking down the floor. Batum, Lesor is there. And it goes back to Tupan for the 3 instead, and he hits back-to-back triples.
Tupan, he's just got a beautiful stroke. Very compact, efficient shooting technique and making the most of it.
24 points, the France lead after 18 minutes.
Again, good reaction. Batum, sorry, the Tupan coming down. He just knocked one down in the corner, so he goes back to the hot hand.
Baez for 3, no, 0 of 9. Batum. It's getting away from Dominican Republic very quickly. Lesor, pirouette in the paint. No look, bounce pass to Poirier and a foul.
Everything working. That vaunted pressure defense by Dominican Republic is looking very, very vulnerable and passive. And it's the ball movement that brings them undone. The pace in which the ball is going from one side to the other, they don't even get in a position where they can get into a denial or put pressure on the ball. Nico Garcia's got some things he needs to work out, and at both ends of the floor. Their offense is poor, only shooting at 4 of 27 for 15%.
They've only made 4 shots in over 18 minutes.
Incredible. 0 of 9 from the 3-point line. You compare that to 56% for France, you can understand why this is starting to get very sloppy.
26 points, the advantage.
For the first time in the tournament, we're seeing a little bit of 2-3 zone now by France.
Here's Baez up against Poirier, across to Mendoza. Oh, he got it over the top of the athletic Ntilikina, who was closing him out.
That was a good contested shot. Test the willpower of France to stay in that zone when you see a 3-ball get nailed. The
first 3 on the 10th attempt for Dominican Republic. Two-pan to Gobert. Now Batum looking to go to work. Pass to Gobert, who goes to the heavens.
How's the pass? I like this when you're trying to play the two big fellas together, Gobert. Well, maybe not so much Gobert and Poirier, but one of those has got to play the baseline, and when the ball gets below the free throw line, it's the baseline's defending on the 2-3 zone responsibility to get out, and that time no one came out.
Nilikina to Batum. Two-pan. Gobert, the two bigs on the floor for France. Gobert and Poirier. Two-pan for three again, in and out this time. Final seconds of the second. 5 to shoot. Ball in the hands of Rigoberto Mendoza. He'll take it on himself, move it on to Baez for three. Not that time, and that will do it for the half. A dominant first half display from France, who lead by 22 points. 43 to 21 over Dominican Republic.
Just an incredible defensive display by France. I don't think Dominican Republic did themselves too many favours. They missed a few shots, struggled to get things going, but give a lot of credit to France the way they just blanketed the Dominican Republic. 22% from the field and the two-pointers, and 17% from the three-pointer, and both of those three-pointers coming in the dying stages of this second quarter. And there's the rebound count. Dominican Republic doing a good job on the boards, and points in the paint, as you can imagine, heavily in favour of France.
A look at the leading scorers. Several players on 7 for France. Lesor, De Colo, Gobert. They've really spread their scoring around. They've got 6 from Tupan and 6 from Fournier as well. Dominican Republic led by the 8 points as Victor Liz. 5 from Mendoza. Nobody else on more than 2.
No, there's going to be a lot of soul searching in the change rooms of the Dominican Republic off that emotional high of a fantastic win over Germany, and now the reality of a team, a juggernaut like France, hitting them right between the eyes. So it's not just about the strategy, it's about the mindset as well, trying to maintain some confidence and come out here and be able to execute and put on a different game face. And really, you've got to try and have the attitude. Now, it's almost impossible to do, is come out and think, well, this is 0-0. Let's just wipe that half clean, learn from it, imagine the scores are 0-0 and start from scratch again. If you come out here just trying to blaze away and get that lead back, that 22-point lead could blow out to 40 or 50 in real quick time.
A big half coming up for these two. France on fire at the World Cup as they look to go 3-0 and take a big win through into the second round as they aim for a place in the quarterfinals and ultimately a place on the podium. Dominican Republic will be there in the second round as well, but at the moment it looks like they're going there with a 2-1 record unless they have the half of their tournament. Down by 22 to France at the break, 21-43 the score. Do join us for the second half shortly.
非常感谢现正要用街舞团演唱。
Hey everyone, I'm so excited. Special content on the board called Resistance. Training is unbelievable. It is a traditional story by young basketball. One enlightening approach and the awesome transformative power of the game of basketball.
进攻时间美丽 number 2 犯规。
It's going to be an easy 3 points right here for Lennon. Oh, Mauro! With a 360 turn and then a slam dunk.
Paczynski, bounce pass, what a play by Poland.
Again, Coach Taylor has to be pleased with the off-ball movement. People don't stand around on this team.
Gasol with a massive 3. Surely the dagger in the game. Touch pass, Mejri throws it down, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Man, they just did the same thing Puerto Rico did to them.
6 on the shot clock. Here comes Brown. Brown, step back for 3. Oh! Can you believe it? What a 3 from Brown! And with 5 seconds to go, Puerto Rico take the lead.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
Welcome back to the Shenzhen Bay Sports Center, game day 3 of the FIBA Basketball World Cup, where France have been having some fun. They lead Dominican Republic by 22 at the half, 43-21. Very impressive at both ends of the floor, led by the 7 points apiece of Gobert and Lesor. Fournier has 6, as well as 3 assists and 2 steals, but it's in all areas really where France have been dominant, but particularly on the inside. We knew the Dominican Republic had a fairly small lineup comparably, and the French bigs have been dominant.
No, they've exploited that, and what's happened is because they've got such great shooters as well, it's very hard to help, and it's made it really tough for them. There's really no area of the game you say, well, here's something that you can get something out of, and let's try and milk this a little further. Like I said, they've got to go into the halftime break, that's the Dominican Republic, reboot, and just come out and try and wipe the slate clean. It's hard when you look up and you see yourself down by 22 and only got 21 points in a half. That does test your psyche as much as it does your system, but there's no other way around it. This French team looks well organised, unselfish, shooting the ball really well with great size that can compete on the glass, and I guess that's the area that the Dominican Republic would say, well, at least we're battling. You know, we're out rebounding them 19-17, so there are some areas where we're not getting destroyed.
Yeah, they've got 9 offensive rebounds, Dominican Republic. They've made that a real feature of their play, but it's when they're attacking against Vincent Collet's team that they have really struggled on the inside. 3 of their bigger bodies, Eloy Vargas, Ronald Roberts and Eulis Baez, have combined for 1 of 14 from the field, going up against the likes of Poirier, Gobert and Lesor on the inside.
And Gilbert Solano, he's equal leading the tournament in assists with 9 a game. He's had the donut, nothing. Zil. So that's an area to say it's not just the fact that he has got any, but when he's got the ball in his hands and he starts creating, he gets that penetration, the defenses collapse, he kicks it out, and those 3-pointers become a little bit easier because you're not up against an established defense. So him having a tough one has made it difficult for the Dominican Republic.
It's a contrast in terms of the efficiency of the bigs. Poirier, Lesor and Gobert have combined for 7 of 10 from the field, 70%. And France sharing the playmaking responsibilities as well. They've had 5 players who've made multiple assists. Dominican Republic as a team just 4 assists. France 13. Apart from that offensive rebounding, which comes about, the possibility of it comes about because of the Dominican misses. That's the only area.
100%. And clearly, Nestor Garcia had a lot to say at the halftime break because his players are only, not all of them are out on the court, and there's 50 seconds remaining in the halftime break, and they've overstayed their time in the locker room, and they need to get a push along, or else they're not going to even have all their players out here to start this one. So
Victor Liz making his way out has led them with 8 points, but 5 turnovers as well. They've turned the ball over 12 times as a team. Mendoza has 5 points. Nobody else has more than 2 for Dominican Republic.
Victor Liz has got the 5 turnovers, but he has got 8 points, and he is their leading scorer. And I think in the second half they've got to play through him a little bit more, try and get him some shots, get him to the basket. He's 2 of 4 from the field. He's 3 of 4 for the free throw line. So he is one that can create off the dribble. We've already seen some nice drives to the basket. Just got to try and create a few more opportunities for him and let others build off around what he does.
He's got 2 steals as well. Victor Liz on that first half stat line. Nobody else for Dominican Republic has come up with a steal though, and they average 9 a game. That tenacious defense that Coach Garcia loves has not come to the forefront against France so far. Here we go, start of the second half. France by 22. Dominican Republic start with the ball with Solano. 11 assists against Germany. Not a single one so far here. Solano almost lost it off his leg, able to gather it. Wants to attack Batum and Gobert, and he turns it over.
Exactly the start they didn't need. 12 turnovers in the first half, now they're up to 13. Symbolic of their problems. Bad shot is better than the turnover.
Albisi behind Gobert, taking the shot himself. Gobert the rebound. Batum locked and loaded, wide open, makes it count.
Every mistake being penalised.
Only Batum's second field goal of the World Cup after not playing in Game 2. He was 1 of 4 in Game 1, and he's 1 of 4 again here. Vargas to Baez, who was 1 of 6 from the field in the first half. Rojas can't hit at the buzzer. Batum a rebound as well. Albisi forward thinking, quick moving. Fournier, a little bit of footwork, ran into the defense. Vargas got a piece of it. Here's Liz. Solano to Vargas on the offensive end up against Albisi. He's got the size advantage and he draws contact.
Ntilikina started the game, and start this second half is not on the floor, and I think this is about just making sure that give everyone an opportunity to experience different roles. Albisi may be called on to start some games. He did the very first game against Germany.
10 of the 12 French players have taken to the floor. They've all played between 9 and 12 minutes.
So really sharing it around.
Solano up against Albisi. He'll have to go again with only 3 to shoot. Solano, Vargas has got to put it up, got it away in time, but missed it.
It's just a wall. France, like a wall. The Dominican Republic cannot find any cracks in. Solano, I think, is in the doghouse of Nestor Garcia. He's dragged him after that last possession as well.
And for some rare seconds on court, Juan Miguel Suero, the number 9, comes in just 4 minutes before today.
Might as well try something. Clearly, France haven't seen a lot of him. Perhaps the element of surprise might work in their favour, because not much else has.
Fournier and Gobert on the perimeter. Fournier goes past the big man twice. He's able to grab it as it falls out of the spotlights. Batum for 3, no. Here's Suero, who should be fast. His father was an Olympian in 1980 in the 100 and 200 meters. Here's Rojas. Moves to the side, gets a good look, and he's drained it on the move. First score of the second half for Dominican Republic. Batum moving it to Mbai. Fournier into Gobert. He's one-on-one with Vargas, and he gets it to drop with the foul.
Really good execution. Just set that play up. A little bit of misdirection. They were always going down. Vargas just playing behind, got caught out, and the big fella just in the no-charge circle that deep, able to catch it. Very, very tough to stop. With his athleticism, the incredible length on his arms, the only hope you have is preventing him from catching it. Just play in front. If they start throwing lobs over your head, well, okay, make some adjustments, but if he catches it that deep, you're cooked.
Rudy Gobert, 2 meters 15, 7'1", completes the three-point play. Baez to Liz. Liz gets to the elbow. Gobert trying to block the shot. Liz beats him.
I think they live with that. They live with those contested twos. France, that fighting over the top of the screen. Gobert was there, just a good shot by Liz, and there's a moving screen they've called on Rudy Gobert. Seen a lot of that these games, and I like it. You're trying to fight over or get through those screens, it makes it impossible if you're going to allow the defense to slide their feet and move.
It is the 8th turnover of the game for France. Rojas step to the side, misses this one. Gobert the rebound. Albisi, Fournier. Batum calling for it, up against Rojas. Here's Fournier, takes on the long two, falls short. 6 points so far for Fournier, but he's only 3 of 9 from the field, far less efficient than the first 2 games.
Had some good looks.
Here's Liz, who's looking to attack. Gobert was in the way, and so too was Bai. And a foul as they grab the loose ball on Gobert.
Baez, you just see him here, just see him jump into Rudy Gobert. Smart play. We're never going to out-jump or get that shot off unless he got into the body of Gobert, so he did it well. Drew the foul, goes to the line to shoot a couple.
It takes some guts to attack a man who retained his NBA Defensive Player of the Year award last season, just the 10th player in NBA history to win the award on multiple occasions, Rudy Gobert. Offensive rebound off the missed foul shot leads to an open 3, and Baez hits it. His first from the outside on his 4th attempt. 20 is the gap. And Bai able to just about reel it in across to Batum, who got a really good look for 3 to cancel out the one at the other end.
He was overdue. Hasn't seen a lot of it. Now 2 of 6, but been quiet in the first couple of games, and as the tournament rolls on, he's going to be called on.
Liz was open and missed it. Batum foul down. Albisi. Stop and pop on the perimeter. Will go for Bai.
And how's the pose afterwards? Little statue. And Bai expressing himself as well as knocking down the 3.
The team's second best, 21 points on his World Cup debut in Game 1 when he was 4 of 6 from downtown. 8 of 12 from the field. He had 11 points in Game 2 off 4 of 6 shooting. He's been ultra efficient so far. Suero fouled by Batum.
It's really hard to find a weakness in this French team. They got guys that can fill it up from the perimeter. They got possibly one of the more vaunted defensive teams in the competition based on their size. Hard to see where they're vulnerable. They were a little sloppy. They have been sloppy with the ball early on in the tournament against Germany, but a little bit of chit-chat going on too. Batum not particularly happy with some of the goings-on.
He was down on the floor on the previous Dominican offense. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
He was focusing his attention on Rojas. I didn't see anything too untoward. It just might be a couple of boys just chatting to each other, not liking some of the context of the conversation.
Hotly contested, and we would expect nothing less with a big win in terms of the second round standings on the line, and France are very much in pole position as Dominican Republic reduced the arrears to 24, midway point of the 3rd quarter. A foul on Suero.
Again, the intent of Suero. That's what they're trying to do. That's their trademark. Their calling card is that defensive effort and trying to get up in the lanes, make them uncomfortable. Haven't had a lot of success with it tonight, but I like the philosophy.
Oh, what a hit from Gobert. Offensive foul, and now it's all kicking off. Fournier up against Suero. And Bai and Gobert stepping in. Gobert is playing the role of enforcer just to try and separate things. It was his illegal screen at first that knocked Sadiel Rojas down to the deck.
Well, I'm not sure it was that illegal. It just might have moved a little bit, but it's just when you get caught in the wrong spot. Let's have a look. he didn't do a lot wrong. It's just two bodies coming together. He didn't move, maybe a slight moving, and then it all exploded from there. Just caught blindsided there a little bit. I didn't see anything. Just bracing yourself when you've got a guy running into you. You want to protect yourself as well. Fair enough on the call. There'll be a review here, and what took place after that, I think that's going to cop more attention than the actual foul.
Okay. This is 27. Normal foul or check it? Check it, we are checking 27. Okay, we go on normal. Then, look at.
You think this is normal? This is not a comment. First of all, go back please to check
27.
First foul.
First 27.
Yeah. Check the
Go on
full
27.
situation.
Okay, go on. Now go 27. Slowly, slowly. Go please. Okay, this is a 27 ounce.
Go back a little bit and stop.
No, it's very clear from the camera.
Let's go with this camera.
It's very clear from the camera. Go now, go. Okay.
And formally foul for excessive contact on the body.
Yes.
With the elbow.
Yeah.
And with the shoulder.
Okay. Then we go the second position now.
You know, Julio?
Okay, now we go the second position. Come back. Come back. Go. Come back. Can you come back, please? Okay, now we play. Slowly. Go. Look at this camera. Big screen. Okay, look the big screen. Okay. 11.
Unsportsmanlike.
Another unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
After the call, another unsportsmanlike. Okay. White 11 unsportsmanlike. Then go.
Play foul for throw the ball.
Another technical foul number 10. Blue 10 technical foul. Throwing the ball. Okay. Go now. Go. Just to be sure, check if we miss anything or not.
Okay. Did you see something else? Julio?
Come back.
Let's go back and put the full situation. Maybe we can use this camera, master?
Yes. Okay, let's go now.
So we have an formal foul.
Stop.
And a formal foul.
11.
And then technical foul. Go. This number 2 blue push against number 11.
Yes, blue 2 push
number 11 white.
Yep.
Okay, now we go like this. Okay, it's okay.
Now
go now. Somebody
report.
We have unsportsmanlike on 7 white. Then we had unsportsmanlike blue. We cancel this, right? Okay. Blue 10 technical foul, 1 shot. Blue 2 unsportsmanlike foul. So they will start with 3 shots.
We start with one shot for technical foul and 2 shots for
first unsportsmanlike foul, then technical foul.
First technical foul.
Okay.
And second, and a formal foul.
Okay.
Yes. Any blue player can shot.
And white
number white 11 shot for an formal foul.
Okay. Can you show that now? 27. Yeah.
We're going to need a pen and paper to write all this down, I think. There's a lot of action going on here.
In Shenzhen, the city of innovation, one of the great innovations of this World Cup, listening into the officials.
Blue 27, unsportsmanlike foul, okay? White 11, unsportsmanlike foul, okay? Blue 10, technical foul. Blue 2, unsportsmanlike foul, okay? So we go on one shot. We go on one shot for technical foul, then white 11, 2, and white 11, okay?
Very well explained. We saw it. It unfolded. Tremendous access we have to the officials, and pretty straightforward. I think they 100% got it right. Whether this first one was excessive contact, maybe because of the lifting up of the elbow, I think Rojas just exaggerated that. Maybe caught him, winded, and then that is where it gets out of control. Evan Fournier doesn't need to do that. It wasn't unsportsmanlike foul by Vargas, but just accept it, go to the line, shoot your free throws, and get on with it, particularly when you're 24 points up. This is a formula that, when you think you've got a big league like France has, you don't need these types of distractions. But it's competitive out there, and you see the scratch on the side of the head there. And that's what really the Dominican Republic trying to do. They get under your skin, get up, make the game really difficult to play, and that's what they have to do because they don't have the same level of talent. It's just unfortunate that France got the better of them on that occasion.
It is fiery and feisty at the FIBA World Cup. The first technical knocked down by Victor Liz. Next up is Eloy Vargas, who misses the first. It all started a few minutes before that, didn't it, with Batum and Rojas?
Yeah, a little bit of talking going on, and everyone starts to get a little bit agitated, and then a heavy screen, let's be honest, but I don't think it was intended to hurt anyone. I just think real heavy screen by Gobert, and it escalated from there.
When it's a man the size of Rudy Gobert setting the screen and a man the size of Sadiel Rojas running into it, it's going to look heavy.
Yeah.
Suero. Liz. Away from Vargas. Liz trying to shake off LBC, got fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 more.
When you think of these disruptions to the game, if anything, it probably works more in the favour. It gives the Dominican Republic, maybe it sparks a bit of emotion, a bit of passion. They go out there and start to be fired up into action. It may help them. You could say the same about France as well, but when you've got such a huge advantage in the game, hard to see how they're going to do much more than what they're currently doing.
21 is the differential now after the second goes for Victor Liz. 12 points for him, 5 of them have come from the line. 14.5 minutes to play. And by Fournier. Oh, a steal. Rojas racing down the floor will score. And there is a bit of a spark in the Dominican Republic.
It can happen, and France want to have a bit of a chat about it. Little turnover, a lot of contact. No foul call. Easy uncontested too.
So 19 points is the differential with 14.5 minutes to play. It would take something special from here. But Dominican Republic not done and dusted just yet.
It's not. They're the type of basketball when you're struggling to put points on the board. Those cheapies are so valuable. Vincent Calais just looked like you're laying down the law as well, just to refocus, move on. You got to move on for those incidences and just don't let it continue on.
Plenty of emotion here in this building this evening, and of course all around the 8 venues of the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup, full of fire and full of passion, and we'd expect nothing less. Passion from the stands as well as down on court.
Almost a eerie tension amongst the fans after that. They're a little in shock. Good crowd in attendance.
Nilikina back in for the first time in a while. DeColo, Gobert, onto Fournier, fires it into DeColo, who unloaded so quickly before Liz could greet him.
Good execution coming out of the timeout. They run a little shuffle cut, the back screen, and DeColo finds a cheapie.
5th assist for Fournier, 9 points for DeColo. Vargas takes it from the elbow, misses it. Fournier a rebound as well. Nondo DeColo going around the high screen of Gobert, draws the defense but turns it over. Rojas with the freedom of the Shenzhen Bay Arena again. Looked like he might have gone for the dunk.
He was trying. He asked the questions of his legs and they didn't have the answer that he was looking for.
The trampoline that Lassalle left down that end, he's taken it away since. Fournier gets through a gap that didn't even seem to be there.
It didn't. Vargas came over to help, then didn't slide his feet, and he was able to split the two and find an easy two.
Rojas to Suero. Liz across to the corner. 3-point shot this time for Rojas, and by the rebound. Fournier at full throttle, ran into trouble, but a foul. Dominicans disappointed.
Little reach in from behind. That was the play before. You see the gap the two defenders made. You've got to close that gap. That's Vargas' responsibility to shut that down. It's hard when you've got a quicker, more agile guy coming at a guy that not so nimble on his feet. And DeColo just with a sloppy turnover the play before.
That was the 4th foul of the quarter on Dominican Republic. France already at the limit. DeColo around Gobert. DeColo off the window, wouldn't fall. Gobert is there underneath to put it in with the foul. He was always going to win that battle.
It's just size prevailing. That close to the basket. He's in ideal rebounding position.
12.7 rebounds now for Gobert, who's 5 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. Add one more. Looking perhaps for a double-double, 2 games in a row. Juan Garcia faked the handoff to Monteiro, clings onto it.
Look at this. Travelled, he's sliding his pivot foot, and that's just defensive pressure. Really good stuff by the French team. Picks up the ball. Look, everyone in the lane, and what about the ball pressure? Yeah, and you should be happy because that takes energy and effort and commitment. When you're 24 points up, it's easy just to take things as routine, but it's all about building habits and conditioning yourself for those types of play every possession.
Fournier on the attack, fouled. What about the reaction of Matambai? Like you say, 24 points up. That reaction just to force a travel, it shows you how much France are buying into their game plan, how much they love defense, and also how the attitude going forward is right to win at each and every play.
Spot on. It's not just about this game for them, it's building those habits, and that's what great teams do. They build habits, they don't take shortcuts, and they have a commitment and also have a passion to share the excitement of a defensive play, regardless of what the score is. When you execute it well, to show that emotion, that's infectious, gets everyone going, and it's great to see. They're in great shape, France. I'm loving the way they're going about it.
If you've got a team that enjoys doing the dirty work, that's half the battle done. And the other half of the battle is being as talented as they are.
And they know what's ahead. Lithuania and Australia next up on the agenda for France. And I know both those teams are going to be really, really difficult challenges.
That's over in Nanjing. Here's Garcia from the outside, misses. Big rebound, Roberts. Garcia again, and a foul this time on Mbai.
Australia beating Lithuania tonight, so they'll take a win in. So France and Australia go into the next phase undefeated, and Dominican Republic and Lithuania carrying a loss over, so the challenge for those two teams a lot more difficult. Really, I mean, quirky things can happen, but really France just need one more win and Australia need one more win, and it's provided that win comes against the right teams, it's all she wrote. They move on. Quarterfinals, here we come.
France very, very impressive here in Shenzhen. Offensive rebound off the foul shot, and Roberts is there to throw it down one-handed.
Didn't have a lot of runway to work with either. Was able to go up high and fast.
Ronald Roberts, who went to the same elementary school in New Jersey as Shaquille O'Neal. Look at this play.
Straight up, and the fear of Gobert was right there. It didn't faze Roberts. Went straight at him. Nice athleticism. Good hustle too. Create that opportunity.
Second foul on Mendoza after that, so DeColo at the line. Averaged 14.7 points, 3.4 assists per game, en route to a EuroLeague title with CSKA last season.
Impressive numbers in a star-studded team.
Impressive again here tonight with 11 points. The second French player to hit double digits. Mendoza to Garcia. Or to Monteiro rather, hands it off to Solano. Roberts setting the screen, Solano moves it on to the far side to Garcia, and Roberts looking to attack Gobert again, forced away this time, and the block from Fournier on the three-point attempt by Mendoza.
Another hustle play. The entire French bench up, clapping and celebrating the effort. This time, Evan Fournier. Beautiful closeout, good contest. Great stuff.
DeColo spinning away from the challenge of Monteiro. Continues to play ever so well. And the lead is back to 26. DeColo has 13.
Mid-range is a dying art in a lot of leagues because of analytics. DeColo is automatic, that free throw line.
Solano looking to work with Roberts inside perhaps, comes back out to Mendoza. Mendoza trying to force it through the body of Fournier. Still going to be Dominican Republic ball. Still not a single assist in the game for Galvez Solano, who had 11 in game 2, 7 I believe in game 1.
Yes. As we mentioned, he's currently leading, like not a big sample size, but after 2 games, leading him and Joe Ingles from Australia, averaging 9 a game. And hasn't played a lot in this one either.
11 minutes. 0 assists, 3 turnovers.
Victor Garcia, Nestor Garcia, just obviously not happy with the way his point guard is running the team.
Misses from the line for Monteiro. Both of them. Final seconds of the third, just a small differential. Nilikina to Gobert, looking for DeColo. Gobert racing to the rack. So too was DeColo, but so too was Monteiro. Solano.
Oh.
Well, there's turnover number 4.
Here's that block. Good timing, wasn't it? Monteiro going upstairs and getting a piece of it. Nothing but ball.
Fournier on the burst to the basket, got it away in time and beat the buzzer. And France are beating everything in their path here in China.
What a great executed play. This has been practiced at training sessions for these types of moments and beautifully executed. Not a great effort by the defense, but tremendous execution by France on the offensive end.
Fournier up to double digits. France up by 28 at the end of 3.
France just need to concentrate now and not get caught up in any of the cheap stuff that's going on, we take a look at the numbers. Impressive shooting display by France. Quick huddle by France. Still a minute, 10 seconds to go in the quarter, but they're already out in the court ready to get started. They want to get home and get tucked into bed as soon as they possibly can. The Dominican Republic, well, their woes continue. Shot it a little bit better that quarter, but they're still 12 of 44, only 27%. And 17 turnovers in 3 quarters of basketball is about 8 too many, 9 too many. Even that, you're trying to reduce it lower than that, but I'm talking about too many for the tolerable stage. Against a more superior opponent, you've got to keep it as tight as you can. And speaking of trying to get home and get to bed, did you see Rudy Gobert was very upset the other day? He was woken up early and had to go, asked to go take a drug test, and expressed himself on Twitter to his displeasure of that and saying it's unprofessional. And I say, no, Rudy, no, it's not. If we want clean games, clean athletes, not too much to ask to get up in the morning and do the test whenever it's required.
The world got a clean game here in China.
That's what it needs, and I'm not sure he understands the ramifications, complaining about having to get out of the quite a little early. Now, having said that, I don't know specifically what time they knocked on the door. Perhaps if it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe that might be a bit extreme, but I don't think it would have been that.
There's a foul straight away at the start of the 4th, with France up by 28. On Ramon. Poirier. Good passing big man, but he's going to take it on himself. One-on-one inside now against Robert. Shoots over the top of him. Lesor is back in after lighting up the first half, but he can't grab the rebound. Ramon to Monteiro, and then Peña. Ramon around Roberts. There's Liz cutting into the paint, faced by Poirier, faced by De Colo. They create a good open look on the outside, but can't make it count. Here's Lesor! Not quite as spectacular as many were expecting.
No, they weren't. You heard the hush. De Colo, how's the look? Heads up play, finds his man down low for the easy 2.
Ramon to Roberts. Peña. Peña getting away from Lecomte, fires it back into Roberts. They're moving it around a bit more swiftly now. Monteiro will take the 3, and he gets nothing but net. The 3rd quarter was the best offensive output for Dominican Republic at 19 points, but they still conceded 25. Lecomte forced away from the paint, back to Nili Keener. He'll take on a 3 as well. Poirier and Lesor getting in each other's way. De Colo picks up the pieces. Poirier underneath it, another offensive rebound. De Colo free underneath, nice pass.
Great pass. Poirier, just good vision. Ooh.
Liz running into traffic in an offensive foul.
And prior to that, Liz, I think it was an accident, but a lot of contact with De Colo. Here's that good positioning. Charging foul called, and there's that beautiful pass. The play before. Both these teams, hopefully we'll get an understanding of the bigger picture and just settle down a little bit. Maybe zip it up, get through this last 8 minutes unscathed, because there's still a lot to play for both these teams going through to the next phase of the competition. Top 16, chance to get yourself into the quarterfinals.
Poirier on to Tupou. Lecomte on the move to receive the ball deep. 5 left on the shot clock. Nilikina looking to attack right down the lane. In traffic, slice to the basket.
Great size. Uses it. Finds his way to the basket. Been tough for him at New York. Spasmodic his minutes. Never really found his groove. Next couple of seasons is going to be a telling ones for him, and I think there's a place for him, and he has the chance to be an elite player, not just a good player.
Still only 21 years of age. Pena for 3? No. He was selected 8th overall in the 2017 draft, Nilikina. Here's Lessor going up again, the French firecracker with another dunk.
The pass, great pass, split the gap.
Pena. Roberts takes on the long 2 over the top of Poirier. Rebound Lessor. France are up by 33. 6.5 minutes to play. And Lecombe inside off another nice pass. Nilikina feeding it in.
Simple little UCLA cut coming off the screen. And a beautiful pass. Have a look at this one. Not even a screen, just almost just like a give and go. And the play before that. Nilikina showing his skills as Lessor. You get a great angle on that slow-mo replay, just how far high he gets up, heads up, down, around near the rim. Well, it might, maybe it's just his pigtails look like it, but there you see him, way up above the rim. That is some athleticism. Big, strong man attacking the rim. Nestor Garcia. Clearly not happy.
A 10-3 start to the 4th quarter for France. Nilikina's doubled his assist tally to 4 in the space of the last minute. And everybody profiting. Everybody for France who's taken to the floor has scored after the 2 points from Lecombe. And the only player on their roster who hasn't played yet is Louis Laberie. Six and a half minutes to play. Dagoberto Pena finding Juan Miguel Suero. Roberts. Ramon, all the bench players on the floor for Dominican Republic. They are moving the ball a bit better.
They are. That's what they needed to do early on. Still unable to finish, but at least gives themselves a better chance to, one, score, but also control the tempo.
Poirier looking to bully his way to the basket.
Just head down, uses his size, strength, finds his way to the basket.
6.7 rebounds for Vincent Poirier. Suero. Across to the far side, they get away from the defense and attack the rim. A chance to go to the line. And another player down hurt. Dagoberto Pena. Second foul on Poirier.
Well, he just stuck his leg out as well. I'm not sure.
Hence the stare.
I think he was actually going over to help him up, and because he was grimacing in pain, I don't think there was an attempt to sort of bravado or anything like that. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. You might have saw it a little bit differently, Tim.
I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions.
I think you do, but you just perhaps want to be a bit more reserved.
35 the difference. Let's move on. 5.5 minutes to play, and there's more contact. And there's another Dominican down on the deck. Ronald Ramon. You often hear from those that don't watch the sport that it's a non-contact sport.
No, there's plenty of contact, but that time illegal contact. Just didn't quite have the right positioning. It's called for the blocking foul.
Nilikina off the mark, Lecombe the rebound. Lecomte firing it back out. Nilikina can't resist again. Wide open, and this time gets it.
Automatic. When he's been open, he's one of those guys that with his shooting technique, which is really, really good, you're more surprised when it misses than it goes in. And not everyone's like that, but he's certainly got a nice stroke on him, and it's only going to get better as he matures, and physically as well as getting an understanding of the game.
Suero around Roberts, dishes it off on the cut down the baseline, but he travels underneath the hoop, back out. 3-point shot at the buzzer, wouldn't go for Ramon. Nilikina takes a look at the basket and just goes all the way himself to Tupan, to Poirier. Nilikina on this near side taking on the three, not this time. Averaged 5.7 points, 2.8 assists in 21 minutes a game in his sophomore NBA campaign with the Knicks from Nilikina.
Had a few injuries as well, spent some time on the sidelines, and still such a baby when you think of growing and learning and about the game, particularly at the NBA level.
Wide open three for Dagoberto. Pena goes down. Only shot 16% from three over 7 qualifiers. He's not played much here in China. Lecomte almost lost it. Poirier on the burst to the basket with that long left arm, but couldn't get it to go. Ramon. Garcia to Suero. Picked off, turned over. And a chance now to attack in transition for Tupan, who's so quick. Although he lost it, and it's going to be Dominican Republic ball.
If you're France and you're trying to find areas to say, well, what are the things where we might have a little bit of weakness? They've been solid on the boards, but not great, and they've given up 13 offensive boards. So that's one particular area of outcome of this game to say, well, we need to tidy that up because some of the better teams.
Oh, Roberts gets the better of Lesaur inside. He looks around for some help from the official. Wanted the and one, doesn't get it.
Some of the better teams, when they're out on the floor, little things like that can make a big difference.
42-12, the score in the paint to France. They're up by 35 overall. Just under 3 minutes to play. There goes Suero. Pops out into the hands of Roberts, picked off. And here comes Tupan, will go for the easy two. Great to see those hustle plays continue from France down the stretch.
Oh, they're relentless. This has been clinical, the way in which they've gone about it. No slip-ups. Perhaps a little bit of a breakdown emotionally with the technical fouls and unsportsmanlike fouls, but take that little glitch out. This has been very professional approach.
Poirier wanted to attack big against Roberts. He'll go to the line for two. France have been methodical, unforgiving, and unrelenting. Nando De Colo leads them again, 15 points, looking to lead them for the second game in a row.
Very efficient again for the second time, 5 of 9, 56%.
And the 15 points in 17 minutes.
As a team, 9 of 18 from the three-point line is solid as well. Well, that's more than solid, that's outstanding.
And the lead keeps growing and growing, up to 38 now. This is a Dominican Republic team that downed Germany and also beat Jordan. Suero. Garcia getting Lesaur in the air, moves it onto the far side. Pena. Ramon swings it on. Garcia got a good look for three and drained it with a huge frame of Poirier closing him out.
Good ball movement, find the open man, knock down the three.
I mentioned at the top of the show that that's one of the staples of Dominican Republic in terms of the way they've played here in China. The ball movement and the outside shooting, we just didn't see it in the first half. Garcia, another good look for three, falls short. Offensive rebound, Suero. Ooh. They're doing their best to lose it. Roberts attacking on the inside. The tip, how many chances do they need? Suero, Pena into the lane. Dishes it off. Roberts gets Poirier in the air. It still won't go down. And France think, well, have another shot. We enjoy playing defense.
This last 30 seconds is hurting my eyes. It's been that bad. Missed shot, turnovers, just really.
Another offensive rebound, and then they turn it over.
Yeah. 57 seconds left, and you have these days. Everyone has them, and it's how you adjust to them and learn from them, and most importantly, when you're the Dominican Republic, how you bounce back from them.
Lecomte. Lecomte slicing through and scoring. Closing seconds here. Garcia onto the corner to Suero. No look pass to Garcia, and he can't even hit the open layup.
A lot of that's just perceived pressure as much as actual pressure. When you've struggled so much from inside the paint, those little chippies, you've been blocked a few times as a team, that is, it permeates throughout the group, and the easy's becoming really, really hard.
Step back three-pointer will go instead for Ronald Ramon. And France will just dribble out the final seconds here. Some French fireworks at the FIBA World Cup as they go through the first stage, unbeaten for the first ever time under Vincent Collet. And they do it very impressively indeed with a big 34-point win over Dominican Republic.
Vincent Collet, he would be elated with what his team produced today. The 90 points at a very healthy 57%. But even more impressive is the methodical way they went about stripping any life out of the Dominican Republic offense. We take a look at the numbers, and rebounding is fairly split. The 21 turnovers is way, way too many. And not a lot to like from any statistical category. Les has been down on his form. DeColo came in and gave another spark off the bench for his 15 points. But they really shed it around, Kid France, and they'll put their head on the pillow tonight knowing that the assignments that are coming up are going to be much tougher, but they're well placed to move on.
25 assists in the game for France as they shared it around and had 4 players in double digits, led by the 15 in 16 minutes of Nando DeColo, who was 5 of 9 from the field. They had 13 points from Rudy Gobert along with 8 rebounds. 15 for DeColo, I mentioned, 11 for Le Saux, many of them spectacular, and 10 for Evan Fournier. Dominican Republic led by the 12 of Victor Liz, the only player in double figures for them.
Yeah, Le Saux, Poirier, we see the pass there, and Rudy Gobert, they are a very, very formidable front line. They provide at both ends of the floor, and the defensive pressure that the guards are able to put on their opponents, a lot of that has to do with how your bigs are playing. When you've got that confidence to know that if they get by me, hey, they're running into a wall that you're going to have backup, it really does encourage you and gives you confidence to put that level of pressure on the floor and extend the defense up the floor.
I think the seed of doubt was planted by Rudy Gobert with a block in the opening seconds, wasn't it? And Dominican Republic in the end shot just 29% from 2-point range, 26% from the outside, 28% altogether. France shot 57%. They were dominant in pretty much every department, apart from the offensive rebounds we talked about. Perhaps the one concern continues to be the turnovers. 12 for France tonight after averaging 13.5 over the first 2 games. it's not terrible, but when you look at the very best teams in this competition, it's more than they're getting.
Well, it's tolerable. I think those types of levels you can live with, because generally you're going to see that from your opponent around about that. So it has got away from it, did get away from in the win against Germany, but a lot of the times it's coming from good intent. You can have good turnovers if there's such a thing, and bad turnovers, and a lot of them were ones where you say the intent was pretty good. But the thing that's, and that was an example we just saw on our screen there, the unselfishness of this French team, prepared to make the extra pass, to rejoice and show joy in others' success. You saw the bench up and clapping, they celebrating good defensive plays when they were 25, 26 points up. They are really encouraging signs, as well as what you see as far as putting the ball in the hole.
They look like a real team, and they look like a team that has a bit of everything. France, major challenges, not just for a place on the podium here in China, perhaps for the gold, as they go 3-0 through the first stage for the first time at a FIBA World Cup, and they win Group G over Dominican Republic, who will also move on to Nanjing. Germany and Jordan drop into the classification round. It's been a pleasure having your company for the first stage here in Shenzhen. We'll be back with the second stage in a couple of days' time. We will see you then here at the 2019 Basketball World Cup in China.